My sister and I are lifelong Relient K fans. I don't even remember a time when I didn't know who they were. This year they're going on tour for the first time in 5 years. We have tickets to the first night and the last night. So we decided we want to take a look at each of their individual albums with a retrospective look, starting the week of the first show and ending right before the last. 7 weeks, 8 albums. This is Relient K Revisited. So, this week we have been listening to Anatomy of Tongue-in-Cheek, the second album by Relient K. And also, the first night of the show happened. It was a good show.
It was a really good show.
It was really fun. Mm-hmm. The audience was really good. And they looked like they were having a lot of fun.
And it was fun to listen to, like, the longtime fans in the crowd around us. Like, people were... Because we stood around for probably an hour before the show started, so we got to listen to the people around us talking about what they wanted to hear and how they got into it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The guy behind us was bringing somebody, I think it might have been her first concert ever, because he was like, this is a good first concert for you.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Anatomy of Tongue-in-Cheek. This is the album we got into.
Yes.
This is the album that is definitely most nostalgic for me.
Absolutely.
Because this is the one I had on my little green Samsung MP3 player. Pressing On is the first song I remember knowing all the words to.
Yes.
Ever.
So last album we talked about, My Girlfriend was the first video I saw. This was the first video I saw and knew it was Relient K. With the fanny packs and the chapstick.
So I was slightly afraid of this album because I was afraid of what I might notice about it. Just because I have very fond memories of this album. Kickoff is the best start to an album there has ever been.
And I think they just totally, like, that is a concert starter.
It should be.
Every time.
Every time we see them, I'm like, oh, I hope they start with Kickoff. They don't. But
then go immediately into Pressing On.
Yeah, but it is the perfect start to an album. I think it makes it feel like an experience. It makes you, like, when you turn this album on and you hear Kickoff, you're like, it takes you into this is Anatomy of Tongue-in-Cheek.
Right.
We're in it for this Relient K experience. Hope you're not tired of the songs they play. And then goes into Pressing On, which is one of their bigger songs, I'd say. It's probably the song that ushered them in as one of the bigger Christian rock bands.
Yeah.
Because it got pretty big. I mean, looking at their Wikipedia, the letters are blue, so it has its own page.
Yeah, I mean...
Actually, I said that with Pressing On, but Sadie Hawkins
Yeah.
Sadie Hawkins is... I wrote... it's a jam. It will always be a jam. I'll always love that song when it comes on, but I am tired of every time I tell people I really like Relient K, and they're like, oh, they did that Sadie Hawkins dance? Yeah. I am so sick of that. So that kind of gets me. Down in Flames.
Yes.
I've talked to multiple people about Relient K. I've watched videos of people reviewing Relient K. I've been listening to podcasts. And everyone I've talked to says Down in Flames aged badly. And I don't know why.
I don't either, because on this listening of it, I was like, ooh, I feel that. Like, more than I think I would have when I was listening to it first, because we're in that downward evangelical slope, just like most people our age are.
Yeah.
And I think that song fits.
It does. I've never thought about this. This was just an idea I had. But Relient K might be the perfect, like, example of the journey of someone who grew up in that youth culture. Because they start out super Jesus-y, super, like, you know, churchy. Yeah. And then they'll, like, we will see them slowly go through changes.
Yeah. And I think early 2000s church kids had an experience of church like no one else. And Relient K, I mean, they came out, like, their first album was right in there when youth culture became a thing. That's our parents were becoming youth pastors. Yeah. Well, they had been for about 5 years at that point, so they were in it.
Yeah,
we were in the trenches of youth culture. So. Yeah,
because the fact that it starts and immediately he says Christians, I was like, yeah.
I'm just continuously amazed by Teason's lyric writing ability, because he throws in so many things. Pacifist is in there. He brings up excommunication. Like, he brings in so many deep ideas into a fun song. Yeah. It's such a fun song that it lulls you into this, like, I don't want to say shallow, but like simple, easy, kind of like you feel like you're listening to something really simple and easy, but it's really deep stuff.
And I think that is the sign of a good songwriter.
Yeah.
Because it's bringing up that stuff like Hook by Blues Traveler is all about how people don't care about the lyrics. It's all about the hook.
Yeah.
Pumped Up Kicks. Mm-hmm. That's a really good song. People got into it, and it's so dark.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. I think that is the sign of a good, not just lyric writer, but songwriter.
They pull you in before you really know what you're listening to.
Yeah, and you've also got Hoops, who is doing some great licks on this.
Yeah.
And they brought in the new drummer in this. Dave is on this album. I will always love Ethan Luck's drumming. I think he is a tremendous drummer. His drumming on Forget Not Slow Down is some of my favorite in the world. But Dave really influenced me as a drummer, and I didn't realize that until listening to this. But like on this, he'll have random moments where he's just like throwing in little rhythms that accentuate things, which is a lot how I play. And I didn't realize how much influence that had on me, but it did. Oh, but at the concert, they only played one song off of this album.
What did they play?
They played Sadie Hawkins Dance.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, they didn't even do Pressing On.
They didn't even do Pressing On, which
has typically been a usual.
Pressing On is usually there, yeah. Which was kind of surprising. Mm-hmm. But I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So Maybe It's Maybelline is another one that we both said we should read further into because we feel like we're missing something.
Yeah.
But I like Maybe It's Maybelline. I think it's such a fun song.
I totally get where the idea came from, because he talks about we're born with sin, like maybe we're born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, so the idea of are we born sinful or are we introduced to it?
Yeah.
So it kind of nature versus nurture argument there, which is a really cool way to take that tagline and make it theological.
It is, and there's moments in Maybe It's Maybelline where I noticed there's some influence from the Cars. It's one of those sounds, I don't remember where it is in the song, but there was a moment in it where I was like, ooh, that sounds like someone, and I had to think about it for a while, and then I was like, oh, that's the Cars. Mm-hmm. When they asked for requests on their Instagram, we requested Breakdown. They did not play it.
No. Didn't expect them to.
Didn't expect them to. But I love Breakdown so much.
It's such a good song.
It's such a good song, and the breakdown on Breakdown is fantastic.
And this is the one that we just recently found, the VeggieTales version. We did not know existed.
We didn't know it existed. So, if you know, this album actually, they released a Pirates Who Don't Do Anything cover on a single. But that single also included... Cat's grabbing my arm. Also included a cover of Breakdown by Larry the Cucumber.
Which was really fun.
It's really fun, and it's so random.
Did we find it on YouTube?
I found it on...
Yeah.
No, I found it on Wikipedia.
Oh,
Wikipedia mentioned
the YouTube
it.
Video, yeah.
And then I found the YouTube video.
But in it, even the guy who had posted the YouTube video was like, I've been listening to Relient K since 2002 and had no idea this was a thing. Mm-hmm. So it's been very well hidden that Larry the Cucumber sang Breakdown.
And then we get to a Christian-y moment on the album, which is those words are not enough, and for the moments I feel faint.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about? Yeah.
I mean, not really. I like For the Moments I Feel Faint, I think is one of the first songs that, and they did it more often after that, where the title doesn't match the song.
Yeah.
Like usually the title of a song is like a word in the chorus or a phrase in the chorus. This one, it's called For the Moments I Feel Faint, but the chorus is Never Underestimate My Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, I love the title along with the song.
Yeah,
like,
the title definitely changes the way you look at it.
It does. It changes the way you listen to the song.
Which I will say, I think both of those songs should have been played more in youth groups.
Yes.
I think they should have been more popular worship songs because I like them. I'm extremely critical of worship music as someone who has played a lot of worship music, and I hate most of it. But I really like those.
Yeah.
And I think they work really well that most churches would accept them without giving it a second thought.
Yeah. The thing I really like about that title, the way it changes the way I listen to it, I think, is if you just listen to the song, it sounds like preaching to other people, like, you never underestimate me, my Jesus. But when you say, this is for the moments I feel faint, you're talking to yourself. Yeah. Like, me, never underestimate my Jesus. And I think that's a cool way. Like, it changes it from preaching to reminding.
Yes, which I think this album the first album had a little bit of it, but this album definitely leans more into it because Relient K has always had a lot of lyrics that focus on what I've done wrong.
Yes.
It's regretful.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that, and this album leans further into that.
Mm-hmm. And then For Those Words Are Not Enough, I mean, we just realized opening up this page that Hoops wrote that
Hoops
one.
wrote it, yeah. It wasn't,
Thiessen wrote everything else.
It wasn't a
but that was a
Thiessen
Hoop song.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's really pretty.
Really pretty.
It's really pretty,
Yeah.
and it's produced really well, and it shows their growth from the first album. It's like this whole album shows how much better they got. It is a better album by far. While watching the lyrics on this, while listening to it, Lion Wilson's lyrics are on Genius, the website. And so it's literally like, ooh, doo-doo-doo.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, wait, there are lyrics?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I never realized, I don't know how, I've been listening to this album my entire life. I didn't know that Lion Wilson is just the rhythm and melody from Lion-O. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I missed it somehow.
Yeah.
Because I read it on Genius, and then immediately I'm Lion-O comes on, and I was like, oh, yeah. That is the same.
Yeah. I mean, I always knew they went together.
Yeah, because they flow pretty well.
Yeah. Because it's one of those, if you weren't paying attention to the progression of the songs while you're... So, like... In my car, the name of the song pops up. If you weren't paying attention, you might think that Lion Wilson is just the beginning of Lion-O.
Yeah, it's just the introduction.
It's one of those.
I'm Lion-O was probably my favorite as a kid. I loved that song. I don't know why it wasn't bigger. I feel like it's really good.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about that song.
And that was probably the first song where Relient K influenced our interests because we were like, we need to watch Thundercats.
Yeah,
like,
we did.
We need to know what this is.
We went to the library, got it on DVD, and watched it because of that song.
And that, more than anything, I think, proves to me that we were into this album way earlier than we were into their first album because that's not what got you into Back to the Future.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And we've never watched Charles in Charge. So this was the album that got us in because we went into everything. We were like, we're going to watch Thundercats. Like, we're going to know what these things are.
Yes.
Because we are fans.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Relient K fans have a term. I don't know. We're not like Swiftie, you know, like something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now I think I need a Thundercats shirt for the next concert.
Yeah. You should just paint your face like Lion-O. You should dye your hair red.
I need to do that.
And then
Yeah. I'll work on that.
Yeah, you can paint up our cat to look like a Snarf. This one and Sadie Hawkins Dance, I feel like are the first ones that they did that have no meaning.
No, they're just fun.
They're just fun.
Yeah.
They're just really fun.
Straight up fun songs.
There's no Jesus to it whatsoever.
Right.
There's no little moral meaning or anything. Our cat is under the table. Oh, there he is.
He's very needy today.
He's very needy. Then we have What Have You Been Doing Lately?
I love to listen to that song.
I love this song.
Yeah.
I don't like the lyrics.
I don't like the words.
It's very accusatory.
I told you when we were talking about the album, listening to this song makes me feel icky because I remember when my brain worked that way.
Yeah, I remember,
When I was the goody two-shoes pastor's kid and I was very judgmental of my friends who would go off and do worldly things. I love the sound of the song.
It's the screaming.
If they would just go back and change the words.
I know, because I will forever, the breakdown of this song, every time I listened to it this past week, which was a ton, every time I would like headbang to that.
Yeah.
And when they go, lately!
Yeah.
Every time I'd get into it.
And I think, in later albums, like High 75 was on Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I don't remember which one.
No, it was on MX vs. ATV.
MX vs. ATV. I think this is a song that could have been on one of those games.
Yeah.
Had it had a different message. Like,
yes.
It sounds like Tony Hawk Pro Skater to me,
yes.
which I love.
Yeah.
I love any song on those games. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I like it, but listening to it as an adult now in this post-church phase that we are in, like it's hard to listen to.
It is. It's a shame because I love that song. It's so good. And then we have May the Horse Be With You, which really fun.
I don't know if it has a point.
It's one of those that I need to read the lyrics to.
And it's got references in it that I know are going over my head.
Yeah, but that's another one I've noticed a little bit of music influence on there. There's like a little moment after each chorus when there's like it's not a steel guitar. I think it's actually a bottleneck on a electric guitar, but it sounds like a steel guitar where they're trying to add that country influence. My Way or the Highway is...
I mean, it kind of feels like what have you been doing lately?
Kind of.
It's that. I mean, My Way
pretty,
or the Highway to Hell.
It's pretty Jesus-y. It's
Your religion, do it well.
Yeah.
That's pretty legalistic, but again, indicative of youth culture in 2001.
Yeah.
Youth group culture in 2001. Like, that's where we were, sadly.
Yeah, and this is, like, getting back to how long we've been listening to this. This is an album that's old enough that it was way before I was reading into lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
I was so young, I didn't care.
No, I was
just listening to a song.
I mean, we memorized them, but we didn't really know what we were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sang it.
Exactly. Breakfast at Timpani's. Still don't understand it, but it's funny.
It's funny.
Oh, hey, Timpani. I just wanted to thank you for this amazing breakfast. The scrambled eggs and cinnamon toast. Delicious. Bum, bum.
Yep.
That's the song.
That's the whole thing. I don't know if I'd call it a song.
Which is the beginning of that. Because they do this on a few albums after that.
Yeah,
they do little snippets.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it until now.
It is, yeah, that's the beginning.
Yeah, they started doing that for the next few. Yeah, the rest of this album is just kind of... I love the title, Failure to Excommunicate.
Yeah.
Actually, I love the chorus of Failure to Excommunicate. Now that I think of it, because Jesus loved the outcasts. I love that, which we talked about. Is that a reference to Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I mean, God Bless the Outcasts is the best song that Disney ever wrote, so...
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I just like the idea of it, failure, like grace is a failure to excommunicate.
Yeah,
like,
it's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Which begins the talk of grace in Relient K songs. We get into that more.
This album is kind of everywhere as far as Christianity goes.
I think what this is like I said, it's the journey.
Yeah.
That first one is hardcore youth culture.
Yeah.
This one is doubts.
This one is
noticing the failure of the church.
I have doubts about the organization, but then also if I need, like, it's personal guilt, maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's what have you been doing lately is speaking out of personal guilt.
It could be. Seeing what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And deflecting almost.
Deflecting that.
Yeah.
Pushing that onto other people. Like if I have to expect this of myself, I expect it of you too, which is what I was going through at the time, which is probably why it makes me feel so bad.
Yeah.
To listen to it, because I'm feeling that my own personal guilt again.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So this album is just all of those thoughts bouncing around. This makes me like the album more now that I'm talking through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it is like I have to be good.
Yeah.
But I'm doubting things, so I'm hiding my doubts with my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, this makes me excited for the next one.
Yeah.
This makes me excited because Thiessen has always said that songs are kind of his diary. Like, he's just constantly thinking, so he's constantly writing songs. So this is kind of showing us what he's thinking during all of it. So this is his doubting phase.
And I just want to say that Taylor Swift is that way.
I was thinking that earlier. Well, I was thinking because I was like, oh, this is like the representation. And I was like, eventually we'll hit their Reputation. Yeah. Her like dark album. Yep. Which I would totally say Air for Free is their Lover. Or their Folklore.
Right.
Like, or I guess, yeah, because Lover would be Collapsible Lung. Yeah, their Folklore is totally Air for Free.
Right.
Becoming a fan of Taylor Swift. It's the only reason this is fresh on my brain.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just want to dig into the lyrics more.
I know, we need to do that.
But we've got to move on.
Yeah, this makes me excited for the next album.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited to see where we go. Because they get angrier.
Yes.
And I like angry music. I definitely have a leaning towards angry music, so I'm excited for that. And I will say, I've always liked the next album more.
Yeah.
I like it more. This one's more nostalgic.
So the end of this album, I think Less is More is a forgettable song for me.
It's a pretty forgettable song.
It's always been, but Skittles and Combos was important.
So this is the thing. We both had this experience. We are listening to this on Spotify.
Yes.
Spotify has I had to look this up to figure it out just now. Spotify evidently has the gold edition of this album. We had the original, so we had Skittles and Combos.
Which is the best bonus track. This one doesn't. It has the Ballad of Whatever, which is not as good as Skittles and Combos, and I'm angry about it. Hashtag release the Skittles and Combos cut. Because the first 2 or 3 Relient K concerts we went to, we would take a package of Skittles and a package of Combos and throw them on the stage.
They couldn't have done any of these songs on the last album in the way that they're done, because they're so much better. They're so much better musicians and things like that. It is much better produced. It's just a better album overall. Everything on it, better album.
But that's what you expect of a sophomore album. It should be better.
Well, there's a thing, it should be, but there's a thing called the sophomore slump.
Really?
Yeah, and it's that bands will put out a really good album, and then the next one doesn't hit the mark. And they didn't do that with this one. They made it better. They did a Taylor Swift. They made a better second album. Becoming a fan of Taylor Swift. I'm more excited for the next one.
I think I'm going to continually get more excited for the
Yes, this is just going to...
like with every album, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah. All right. So we got 6 albums to go.